First vav, third hey, Hiphil. This is our third set of verbs, third and last, for this chapter. For our chapter on doubly weak verbs, we've looked at first guttural, third hey, and in there we looked at the verb to be. And secondly, we looked at first nun, third hey, nata and naka in particular. And now we're looking at the last set, which is first vav, third hey, and we'll only look at the Hiphil. Again, as with the other two sets, verbs of this type follow both patterns. At one end they look like first vav, at the other end they look like third hey. And the paradigm verb we're going to use here is yara. This is a common verb. It's probably more common as the noun form. The verb means to point, to show, to point, or to teach. And the noun form, Torah, of course, is the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, meaning teaching. So, let's look at the Hiphil. And again, we'll follow the same procedure. The first one, the perfect, we have hora. So we have the hey that we expect in the perfect, the hey prefix. And because it's the first vav, maybe I should write this down here. It's yara, it's the word we're looking at. Remember, it's first vav. It's not a true first yud. It's not an original first yud. So we're going to see the vav show up instead of the yud. The vav is what you had originally, historically. And if you remember, with first vavs, the vav, instead of the yud, the vav shows up in the non-kal form. So the nifal, the Hiphil, and the hofal. In the kal, you don't see it. But we're dealing with Hiphil here, and so we do see the vav. So you see the vav all the way through. See that there? Holem vav, holem vav, holem vav. It's a vowel, granted, but it's still there. You still see the vav. So we see the vav, just like we do here. Okay, this is the first vav, yashav. So we have hoshiv in the Hiphil and hora. The end has the kametz hey, just like 3 heys do in the perfect, kametz hey. So this is a nice combination of these two. In the imperfect, we have yoreh. Okay, we have our yud. We have our holem vav, just like we do here. Yoshiv. And we have our segol hey, which is characteristic of the imperfects in the 3 hey. So again, this one is a nice combination of these two. Let's move to our apocryphated forms, the preterite and the jasiv. Vayor and yor. What's happened here? Well, we have our yud, which is our prefix, right? The holem vav is what we have here, vayoshev. So here's the holem vav. We have that because it's a first vav. That's what this yud becomes. And we have our resh. Our hey has disappeared. It's apocryphated, just like we have here, no hey. And so what we end up with is kind of a 1.5 letter form, if you want to call it that. These two. We have the resh right here. We've lost the hey, and we have the first root letter, but it's not the yud. It's the historical vav. So if you remember that yara is really a first vav, and what you're looking for is a vav, then you can say, okay, I've got 2 letters. If you forget that, then all you're going to see there is the resh. You're going to think, okay, what's going on? What is this? Well, it's the resh plus the vav, which is the historical background to this word. So call it 1 letter, call it 1.5 letter, whatever. Depends if you can remember what that's about. But fairly short little words, little vowels. So it's good to know that these are there. And then we have imperative, hore. So we have our ho, just like we do here. Our hey again marks the imperative all the way through. The vowel is holem vav because it's the first vav, so we have that. And tzere hey is what we have for the 3 hey imperatives. So this is a nice combination of these two. And likewise with all of these. We have our prefix, so mo, ho, and ho, just like the first vowels. Moshiv, hoshiv, hoshev. And the endings, just like the participle for the 3 hey. Remember, segol hey is for the participle and for the imperfect in the 3 hey. And we have the ot ending, which is what we have for all the infinitive constructs in 3 hey. And we have tzere hey, which is what we have for the infinitive absolute in the Hiphil of 3 hey. So the first part is the typical first vav, and the last part is a typical third hey for the Hiphil. Okay, so again, we have these two forms that are rather shortened, punctuated forms. You don't have too much left. What did I want to say? Whole vav throughout. Well, I said more than that, but that is one thing to look for. You have the whole vav throughout all these forms.